Hello and welcome to Slug Recaps. In this video, we'll be looking at a one-shot ecchi comedy manga by Kokikuji called Final Girl. For more anime, movie, game, and manga recaps, please be sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications. These videos take a lot of effort to make, but it's all worth it with your support. It's a small step for you, but it would really help the channel. With that said, let's begin. The story begins with our protagonist, whose name is never stated, so let's just call him Guy. He's reading a post about how to survive in a horror movie, with typical advice like death by snooze-noo. If you get too close to anyone, you're bound to get axed. He laughs, thinking overwork would kill him long before any slasher could. Right now, he's running errands for his office, picking up snacks for everyone working late into the night. On his way back, he passes by a cinema showing 18th Day Sacrifice, a re-release of an old slasher flick. Then just like that, everything goes dark. It seems he was right. Overtime might just be the end of him, long before a slasher ever could. He keeps hearing voices in the dark, murmuring about a lake, 5 male and female students visiting a lodge nearby, and a massacre that once took place at that very lake. Confused, he wonders who's talking and what they're even discussing. Suddenly, he wakes up, but something feels off. Groaning, he touches his body. Not in that way, mind you, unfortunately. But then, as he sits up in shock, he realizes he's no longer Guy. She touches her chest, purely out of curiosity, for research purposes, obviously. Just then, a status screen appears in front of her, revealing her new identity. Her name is Summer. She's an 18-year-old university student, Ricky's girlfriend, with a, let's say, rookie dating history of 32 past partners. She hears the voice again and realizes it's the narrator who introduces the movie title, 18th Day Sacrifice. It dawns on her. She's died and reincarnated into the horror movie as Summer. Reality hits hard. Summer is clearly the stereotypical flirty character, and everyone knows those types are the first to go in horror films. Just as she's processing this, in comes Ricky, her so-called boyfriend. He starts undressing, and when she checks his stats, it's clear there's zero subtlety in his character. Panicked, she jumps out of bed, but Ricky follows, asking what sort of roleplay she's doing as he pins her down. And then they both see it. Under the bed, a massive man with a machete, eyes locked on them. He flips the bed over with a roar as they scream, but then he hesitates and leaps out the window. Somehow, they're spared. Most likely because they didn't trigger the romance flag. The tips from that horror movie survival post echoed through her head. The middle of a romantic moment is the prime time to get killed. If she'd stayed on the bed, she'd have been a goner. Just then, the rest of the gang burst in, rushing up the stairs to see what the commotion was about. There was Wayne, the smart one, PJ, the prankster, and then there she was, the one, the only, final girl, Lucy. Summer immediately recognized the term. The final girl is the one who always makes it to the end in horror movies. She realized that if she wanted any chance of surviving this nightmare, sticking with Lucy was her best bet. While everyone was busy trying to make sense of what just happened, PJ pulls her aside. He wants to prank the group by wearing a mask to give everyone a good scare, and asks her to play along to make it even scarier. But she isn't having it. She gives him a serious warning, putting the fear of God into him and makes it crystal clear he's not to do anything stupid, and above all, he's not to involve her in any of his antics. She'd successfully dodged yet another death flag. She knew pretending to be the killer for a prank was a sure way to summon the real thing. Summer made her way back to the group, specifically to Lucy. Her best chance for survival was to stick close to the final girl. Wayne, the smart one in the group, decides that the lodge isn't safe anymore and suggests they search for the killer. He immediately proposes they split up. Guess he isn't as smart as he thinks. Ricky and Lucy will search the first floor. PJ will take the second floor. He'll check the van. And of course, Summer should search the basement alone. Summer protests, pointing out that girls shouldn't be left alone. Wayne replies that's why he has Lucy with Ricky. She counters that she's a girl too, but he clearly isn't getting the problem. Wayne then asks Ricky what's up with his girlfriend, claiming she's acting unstable. Ricky explains that they were interrupted during a romantic moment, so she's understandably upset. Luckily, Lucy jumps in, saying Summer can't go alone, so she might as well accompany her. Wayne reluctantly agrees, insisting that Lucy and Summer search the basement together, still determined to have Summer go down there. They split up, agreeing to meet back on the second floor. As Lucy and Summer head down to the basement, they enter the dark, stereotypical horror movie setting. On the way down, a rusty nail rips Summer's shorts, making them even shorter, clearly intended to give her an injury to slow her down, just like typical slasher tropes. While they discuss the ridiculousness of it, a knife falls from nowhere, providing some fan service. Summer gets frustrated, knowing that the movie world wants to exploit her character for fan service before killing her off. Determined not to go down without a fight, she quickly improvises a makeshift weapon. Since horror movies often have survivors get their weapons stolen and used against them, this is more of a way to keep the slasher at a distance. She even adds a mirror to make it harder for anyone to sneak up on them. Lucy commends her creativity, leading to some subtle hints of romantic tension, until Lucy suddenly suggests that Summer must be sweaty after all that, and should take a shower. Summer knows exactly where this is going and is against it, but since Lucy is persistent, she invites her to join. Hell yeah. We switch over to an awkward shower scene. Summer feels a bit guilty, but knows that hanging around Lucy is her best chance for survival. Lucy opens up about her dream of becoming a singer, and Summer can't help but wonder if sharing dreams is a classic horror movie death flag. Lucy explains that this is the first time she's shared this dream with anyone, and asks if Summer will listen to her songs once they escape. Just as Summer turns to face her, the slasher swipes his axe, tearing through the shower curtain. The flags were too much. He just had to show up. First, the shower scene, and second, talking about their dreams. Come on. Rushing out of the bathroom, Summer glances back to see Lucy already fully dressed in under 3 seconds. Obviously, the final girl can't be showing skin. Thinking quickly, Summer uses the shower curtain to fashion a makeshift dress. If she isn't dressed provocatively, she might escape her fate. They dash out of the house and discover the van is on fire while the weather suddenly turns chaotic. Summer wonders why, despite all the noise they're making, the guys aren't coming to help. And no matter how fast they run, the killer is always just barely behind them. The boys call out to Lucy from the second floor, urging her to run for it. Summer screams that she's there too. They flee to the barn and lock themselves inside. Summer looked at the clock. It was already morning, yet the sky is as dark as midnight. It seems they can't end the night unless they defeat the slasher. The slasher begins breaking through the walls, and in this hopeless situation, Summer decides to lock in. She gives Lucy an empowering speech, urging her not to doubt her dreams, insisting she believes Lucy will achieve them once the night is over. Finally, the slasher breaks in and sees Summer waiting for him. She charges at him, blocking his attack. At this point, I was wondering where Lucy was, but on the very next page, we get an answer. She uses Summer's makeshift weapon to push the already off-balance slasher away. With a surge of willpower, friendship, and determination, Summer pulls while Lucy pushes, sending both Summer and the slasher flying toward a large spike. It looks like he's on top of Summer with the spike right through him, but fortunately, it seems to have missed her. Lucy rushes over, and the sun begins to rise, signaling a new day. Lucy suggests they call the police since the guys are unreliable, but with the van in ruins, they have to hitch a ride. An eccentric guy pulls over, curious about their unusual appearance, but ultimately agrees to take them along. In the back of his car, Lucy leans into Summer, and Summer catches a glimpse of something in the sky. The end credits. The horror is finally over. Or is it? Just as Summer thinks they're safe, the driver mentions he overheard Lucy's dream of becoming a singer, and that he's in the music business. Suddenly, Summer hears the narrator's voice again, announcing that the unlikely duo survived and begins hyping up a sequel, much to Summer's dismay. The movie ends with Summer realizing a new movie is starting as they zoom off, literally into the sequel. The end for real this time. And that's the manga. Sadly, there won't be a sequel since it's just a one-shot, but who knows? Maybe we could get an animated adaptation. Once again, please be sure to subscribe for more videos. I'm planning to create more long-form content now. They're harder to make, but I'm currently testing the waters. So if you're interested, be sure to leave likes and comments to support that. With that said, thank you, and see you in the next video.